Hey guys, Huzzy here, bringing you another video. Welcome to another Diamond Breakdown, Huzzy Breakdown, whatever I call this series. Today we're going after Solo Beverly, who's playing Misfortune, and this rating of the game, unfortunately, we don't have the stat screen, but Solo, who is in chat of the person, is a low silver player, and apparently there is no. Bronze players in this game. Apparently everybody is just low silver. So my team is going to go for an invade by the looks of it. Diana is in full vision. If Morgana was only there, and I will say I think Gragas went a little bit too fast. They do get the root though, and they are going to get the first blood, and Solo gets it. So that's really good. Just one thing worth noting with the starting item. This game would have been a week or so old. I don't know if I would go with Doran's Blade anymore. The meta very much is like survival and having sustain. So Longsword 3 to get those extra potions, or even the Targon. Again, I'm not a big fan of these. I'm not a fan of the Targon, but you should play the way that is strongest. Now, what is also interesting is that neither support generally is an ardent sense of support. Morgana technically can do it, but she has to take the correct mastery in order to trigger it, which is the Bond of Stone, or one of them. It can basically, you heal after doing CC or something like that, and then she can get it. No idea why she just waited in that tri-bush, but they're already pushing, which I think is the right call. Again, last time we were Solo, if I'm not mistaken, he was playing Jinx, and one of the big points was the early last hitting. Again, as an AD carry, you generally have, as in last hitting in general, AD carries are already killed with Zed, which is great. AD carries are generally the easiest to kill, easiest people like to last hit with, sorry, because in the way that they are building damage in the early game. Alice is taking already a lot of damage, which is really good. But yeah, basically pressurizing, potentially looking for Qs on minions to then go in, that's more damage. But what I would say they should do in this lane is push it all the way in to make it uncomfortable for the enemy team. Level 2 Spike coming in, Alistair gets a good amount of CC, and then nothing more happens. But it's good pressure. Again, pressure is pressure. And that's what we need right now. But yeah, Zed gets an early kill. Diana doesn't burn her flash, but did use barrier. So potentially there is a mistake going on. And also, obviously, a pretty big lost hit difference. Again, a big trap, just to say with this, a big trap people fall into after they get a kill is they don't go back and buy. They don't actually use their advantage that they have, and then are actually a little bit weaker. Again, I have not watched this game. I'm watching this the first time with you guys. They get an advantage, don't go use it, then because they're staying in lane and the other person comes back, they're lower health, they've used their summoners, and they die. It happens all the time. So that, I'm going to be honest, although it's cool that I predicted it, it's not a very hard prediction at all. So yeah. So continuing to push. Obviously, a lot of mana usage. That's another point, if I remember correctly, that Solo did on Jinx, was use way too much mana in the early game. Unfortunately, a bad bind there and a random shield. And now it's pushing back. So what I would do now is flip the coin. Let the enemy team push it into you, and potentially you can then like pick somebody or something like that. But now Zed gets another kill after coming back to lane. It's going to be a clown fiesta, apparently. Alistair's really overextended. Enemy team going for a full engage. They dodge the stun, which is good. Alistair flashes away because he was probably a little bit scared. Morgana is not looking at her own health. Very low. She's probably going to go down if I'm not mistaken. Okay, no expunge. Alistair doesn't hit the combo and nobody dies. But a relatively crazy situation going on there. But it's okay. It's still pushing into the territory of Solo. So what I would do is don't last hit pretty much anything at the moment. I would actually let it push in because then you have some safety. Wait even for a Gragas to come down. Which he is now coming, and this should be pretty good. The closer they are to the tower, the more they have to run all the way back to their own tower. This should be a kill on somebody. We don't actually have the location of Twitch right now, so he, for all... Oh, that was a bad play. For all we know, could have been behind. Hopefully they'll pick up one kill, even if Gragas gets it, that's completely fine. Because that's just pressure, that's an assist, it's XP, so that's completely okay. You can see, though, the last hit difference is actually quite big. Again, we said that about last time you were watching Solo. Twitch overextended a little bit, does take a bit too much damage, but does end up surviving. And then Shyvana is countering Oh, running towards... Okay, so for some reason, Solo went way too close to the Shyvana, and now is risking a little bit of death. Again, Morgana used the shield on the Misfortune that's already out, so a little bit weird. But yeah, there we go. That is the very early lane phase done. Overall, not bad, but could be better with last hits. Again, 15 last hits for nearly 6 minutes is not great. You generally want to more or less double that, especially as an AD carry, like I was saying earlier. So basically the points that we saw on Jinx last game is pretty much the same in this game. So again, the people that sign up to this series, a lot of them like look for those 1 or 2 tips that they can try and translate and work on. So far, there hasn't been much improvement from what we can tell on last hits and mana usage. A lot of mana usage is going on still, and the last hits are still not good. And then again, in order to work on those, for last hits, generally a lot of people go into the training ground and they just last hit. 10 minutes a day, you know, that's completely fine. Just get used to it. 10 minutes a day, constantly last hitting, and that will give you some general improvement. And then for the mana usage, well, the only reason that you're going to be using a lot of mana is because you don't trust your last hits, is what I would say. So the better you get at last hits, the less, you know, reliant you're going to be on your spells to last hit for you, and that will naturally bring your mana usage down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Alistair has been in mid lane. My team had full vision that he wasn't in lane. So right now, pause. Right now, Morgana is leaving. This is probably the wrong thing to do. When there's an AD carry by themselves, the biggest thing you probably want to do is try to punish that lone AD carry. These champions are not designed to be by themselves in the early game, so they should be going all in trying to kill this Twitch, getting a bind on him, forcing his flash. He's got, and also another point worth noting, if you pay attention to people's items, he's actually got no sustain. He hasn't got any potions, he's got no lifesteal, so the more you punish him, the more lower health you get him, the more he's actually going to have to wimp out and actually not do anything for a while. So that is just worth noting, is that they should be playing aggressive there. Good damage coming out by the double up, whatever it's called. Again, Morgana, again, this roam, by the time she gets anywhere, nothing's going on. She might try to get a kill on Diana, but it looks like Zed's doing completely fine. Doesn't end up helping the Morgana there. And now, again, Twitch and Misfortune. Well, Misfortune should have vision of the Alistair, should be able to run away. But I definitely think a better call would be Morgana not roaming there, because she didn't actually do anything, and punishing the person by himself. So that's just for, you know, future notice. But again, you'll notice the Misfortune, and she's a very highly, she's highly mana intensive in fights. So, and Twitch isn't as mana intensive. As so much, Rosie. Welcome back, dude. So yeah, the enemy team, or my team, has to be really careful. So they're going for an engage. This isn't good. They're going for an engage, and there's no actual spell damage from Misfortune going to come out, and she is an ability-based AD carry. So I'm actually going to wager that my team potentially could lose this if this fight extended. Oh, excuse me, I got hiccups. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I would hope that either Gragas is going to come for a gank, gets a nice bind off, or nice damage. Now run in. Enemy team is split. Flash is coming out. They do get her into the tower, but nothing coming of it. Twitch actually uses heal. Another heal randomly from Solo. Don't know why. And that's going to be that fight over. So a couple of skirmishes going on. Again, difference of CS is there. It does exist. Obviously, gold should actually be relatively even because there's a kill over here and an assist. But that should pretty much be it. Fight going over here. Ryze probably dead, I'd imagine. Yep, again, I wouldn't play Ryze in the top lane anyway. Again, I don't think he's a solo queue champion whatsoever anyway. I would leave him alone. But, yeah, hopefully he doesn't feed like crazy. I am kind of expecting a Ryze to feed, though, to be honest. But that's it. If I was solo, I would definitely go back. I'm level 6. That's a big power spike for Misfortune with your ultimate. But if you have no mana to do anything, you're not really Misfortune anymore. Because you've got 9... Oh, nice kill by Zed again. 900 gold. Okay, there's an all-in engage. Misfortune flashes. Unfortunately, the Morgana shield we saw was late. If that Morgana shield wasn't late, then he wouldn't have got knocked away. But that's going to be it. So Shyvana is actually getting quite fed. We just did see that she got a kill here. So my team right now have to be very careful. No Tribus vision. A kill just happened here. So a very likely thing that's going to happen is Shyvana all the way here behind them. And because they're pushing, they're quite far away from the tower. But let's see how this plays out. We don't have vision of Twitch. Alistair is still relatively full health. Keep watching. So again, we predicted this. This was a fairly obvious prediction. Enemy team coming in. Twitch actually made it behind my team. And again, haven't watched this game before, but that is just very, very, very easy to predict. You saw someone die behind you. You got no vision in Tribus. You're pushing up. That's 100% going to happen. I would have been very surprised if it didn't happen, pretty much. So, yeah. He is going lethality Misfortune, which is fine. What I'd say, obviously Solo is in chat, but just to somebody who does use a lot of mana, if you can self-identify what type of player you are, you can adjust your build accordingly. Because he is such a mana usage player, I would actually potentially look towards an Essence Reaver to try and regain some of that mana, potentially. Like, it's something to worth potentially look into because... yeah, being on Misfortune or Jinx or whatever is not good. But the game in general, just to kind of say how the game is going while people are dead. Oh, wait, let's go back and watch that because I completely missed what happened. I thought they would have just been okay. So 100% the tower is dying. Solo is continuing to run a bit too close. So again, very strong Shyvana right now. 100% you know she has ultimate. Again, as a Shyvana, if that bar is full, she has ultimate up. So she's running way too close, gets engaged on. Unfortunately, Morgana misses her bind, but she walks straight into death, basically. And it potentially is a double kill. Shyvana should die, which is good. That's a shutdown. And no assist, unfortunately, for Solo. But, yeah, that was a mistake, walking into a Shyvana. Zed gets another kill. Great. And then top lane. Again, we are a little bit nervous about this game. Darius did that wrong, but potentially there's still a kill happening. He flashes immediately, which I actually don't think he needed to do. If Gragas continued for that, I think Darius would probably end up with a kill. Let's keep watching. Oh, he put him into the wrong place. Let's keep watching, though. This is a bit nervous. Gragas is potentially dead. Okay, he's fine. One more auto attack, and I think he would have died with the dot. But I think now we're okay. Good. So, how is this game going to go from now on? Well, Solo is near the tower. There's one of two things that he could do, which he's not doing, the first thing. Freezing might not be a terrible idea at this stage of the game because, you know, you're quite now behind the Twitch. At least catch up with last hits. And also you have to remember, the more that you now push, the less protection you have because you don't actually have a tower. And furthermore, Morgana hasn't got wards. She hasn't got Sight Stone or anything like that. So you're not going to have a crazy amount of vision. Enemy team... doing the dragon, Alistair looking to be annoying, Twitch actually looking for an engage as well. Assist comes down. Enemy team are a little bit caught out though. They should be looking for some double up damage. Any second should be good. So boom, they get one kill and double kill. Really nice. Enemy team get an Ocean Dragon, which isn't that important, but that's nice. That's a nice double kill. That's the greediness of the enemy team coming out there, which is good. Not a terrible Misfortune ultimate. I'll go, obviously, in perfect situation, would have aimed it a bit more right. But again, whenever you're aiming at left, you're stopping them running left. If you aimed it right, they just would have run left. So it's not a big deal whatsoever. Potentially bad positioning here. 100% would have died if they continued, so that's good. And that's all right. So they are covering. They are lane swapping by the looks of it, putting Zed bot lane. I don't really know why. You know, one way you're getting rid of like a bad lane matchup, but in the other way, Zed's done very well versus Diana, and you're taking him away. But I think the Zed made this choice. I don't think this is Solo going, I'm going mid. I think the Zed was just like, I'm going bot lane for some reason. We did see again, if you guys pay attention to the minimap, we did see Twitch here a couple seconds ago. So the more they engage here, the likelihood is that Twitch is going to be under here and ulting, and Diana will also close in. Let's see how it plays out. So there's the Twitch that we were calling. Weird ultimate. Solo a little bit caught out with the Twitch ultimate coming down. Ryze gets killed to a dive. Solo goes down, unfortunately, to not great positioning. Gragas probably is going to die. Try to survive as long as you can. The longer he survives, the more time you're giving a Zed to come in. Zed hopefully can clean. Completely wrong choice of target. There was 100% a free Twitch ultimate, and he decided to go for an Alistair. So that was a mistake. Some people in Twitch chat are talking about the Zed build. Yeah, he's done the wrong build. So it's fine to get an early Hex drink if you want survivability. But if I'm not mistaken, again, sometimes my knowledge, it's calling from past seasons. So hopefully this is still true. But Morimar Mortius has always been one of the least item efficient items in League of Legends, with about an 80% item to gold worth level, or whatever you call it, item efficiency. Close, that's Zed. Okay, that was weird. It was like, hi, bye. So rushing it is not a good idea. Basically, the early game items are items that you want to have really good gold efficiency, so you're getting the most bang for your buck. And more has never been the item. Again, it might have changed, because they did introduce some new stats to it, but I don't think it's still that good. Furthermore, it doesn't actually help you do Zed things. If you're snowballing on Zed, you should just go for as much damage as you possibly can in the early game to get that snowball. Because the more fed you are compared to a Diana, the more she's not going to do damage and you can just do more. So that's also worth noting. So the game is in a bit of a weird situation for solo. Again, I've been in these situations. I'm sure most people in watching has also. What do? You're an AD carry that's a little bit behind, but you do have okay damage. But the lane at the time was over here. So it's like, do I go bot lane? Do I stay mid? To me, stay mid, but kind of keep it clean. Potentially then kind of play off what the Zed wants to do. Okay, the Zed's coming back mid. I'm going to go bot lane. So that's what solo should be looking to walk down to right now. This Shyvana does not pay attention, by the way, to her own body. This is the second time that we basically saw her walk next to somebody. Good ultimate coming out there. Enemy team not to her yet. She does pick up one kill. Zed is a little bit too late getting to the fight. He's not using his ultimate yet. He does use it now on an Alistar, which again is a bit of a mistake. He should pick up himself a double kill if he plays it well, and he will play it quite well. Again, ulting the wrong target. He should have ulted the Twitch. The second time he's ulted an Alistar, who is not a priority target. But it ends up good because the Twitch was kind of in the middle of the fight. Then you mentioned another Sunday day. So overall, not terrible. Like, to be honest, it was a completely fine Misfortune ultimate. He ulted when he was away. There's not much more he could have done about that. The enemy team just kind of beelined it for him. But he didn't end up getting the kill on the Shyvana. Like, the Shyvana also, because she's done quite well, she's got a very greedy build, which I think will probably bite her in the butt with how strong a Zed is. I think potentially, obviously, a Zed will basically just kill her if he does have his ultimate, because of how squishy the Shyvana is. I think, again, someone's saying in Twitch chat about orb walking. I think I have mentioned this to Solo before. If you're an AD carry, one of the biggest, if not the most, well, obviously positioning is your kind of biggest skill to have as an AD carry main, but probably second to that is orb walking or attack moving. It's pretty crucial. It's trying to maximize your damage while also getting good positioning is basically what orb walking is. So auto-attacking, repositioning, auto-attacking, repositioning. You really need to do that in order to maximize how much you're doing. Because if you're an AD carry and you're like, oh god, people are coming to me, and you just simply run away, well, there's a couple of you could probably get a couple of attacks while you're walking away if you orb walk correctly. And that's a decent amount of damage. So the game randomly has turned into ARAM. So potentially a big fight is about to happen. I'd say my team do want this fight if they can get a really good engage off. So Darius doesn't have his E. Bind comes in. Good damage by Zed. Gets an Alistar bind. So I would say this is probably like something they should be looking for. There's a couple ways that this fight could happen. Either the enemy team... Oh, unfortunate. Potentially an engage is coming. Oh, they actually do get a really nice bind on the Twitch. Good Misfortune ultimate. Boom, they kill him. Zed gets an ultimate off when the Twitch was already dying. Nice double kill there. And this fight looks pretty free. Shyvana has not done anything this fight yet. And as we mentioned, her build has been very greedy. So as the fight is pretty much already over, she can't ult into everybody. If she does, she's going to get one shot. Again, that's where sometimes, yeah, I'm doing good. Don't always feel that you need to go full damage, because you don't. Good damage by Zed. Unfortunately, doesn't get the Moo Cow. Good damage coming on to Shyvana. Again, really squishy. Goes down. If she was tanked, she wouldn't have died. And we ended up, getting 3 people for none. Nobody died on blue side. Pretty nice. So there we go. It was a good Misfortune ultimate as well. I will say it was aided by the fact that the longest range Morgana bind managed to hit the Twitch as he was stealthing away. So that obviously helped a lot in that team fight. But that's awesome. Yeah, overall, not bad. Obviously, again, this game has some imbalance to it in the fact that, you know, you've got the last hit difference a little bit in bot lane, but obviously the biggest difference is obviously mid. Enemy team in a choke point, but this is where you want to be really careful. Your team is low, you have no mana. Get the dragon and hightail it out of there. Like, just run. So this is the point that you don't even orb walk. You don't even attack move right now. You just keep running as much as you can. Ryze should not be going that way. Darius flashes over. Zed potentially should go on the Twitch, who is actually in the backline there, which he's doing. Boom. Basically one shot. That's what you like to see. And that Alistar is now out of position as well. So there should be a collapse on the Alistar to finish him off. Nice bind. And that's a kill. So nice. Overall, Solo should be auto-attacking 100% now. We know why, because we know he doesn't have flash because he flashed over here. So continue auto-attacking as much as you want. Randomly, Darius does his ultimate when he has no stacks, so nothing really happens. So overall, that's nice. We got Legendary Zed. Solo is now even in KD, obviously a positive KDA, so not bad at all. The way that my team can lose this game, I would say, is if they start getting picked when Zed isn't around. If, like, Shyvana can get onto Solo and Zed isn't around to kill her, that's where the enemy team could slightly be making a comeback. But the weirdest point to me now, again, this is where I say a lot of people, when they play League, don't really think about what they're doing. Shyvana's build. Like, obviously, Shyvana's had a very impressive game. She's got the most farm. She's been getting fed. She's built a little bit of damage. But why on earth are you building Spectre's Cowl this game? The person who is doing AP damage practically is the Ryze, who has basically done nothing so far. And the most fed is a damage-dealing Zed. And I would wager that Solo's damage isn't even that bad either. So why is there a Spectre's Cowl? Again, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, we are trying to focus on the Solo as like a commentary, but I will point out just other mistakes when they happen, because that just doesn't make sense. But what I'd say moving forward is that grouping should definitely be occurring when your team has strength. A lot of the time, the enemy team are just really far behind, and the easiest way to kill them is you just run them over as 5 people with your strength. Because if Zed tries to go against a few people, he could get CC'd and not do anything. But if you're 4 or 5 people, you actually can do a lot. Nice play. Really nice Misfortune ultimate. Enemy team is not moving out of it as quick as they probably should. Darius, again, I love the champion, but his biggest weakness is just get CC'd and can't do much. Double kill coming out. Good group. And this game, to be honest, looks pretty over. So what I'd say, again, to Solo as some specific tips, they're relatively the same as last time. Last hits need to improve. The mana usage needs to improve, but they're kind of hand in hand. I think the mana usage is high because you don't trust yourself last hitting well. The better you get at last hitting, the less you'll be reliant, and the more you won't go and that's basically it. Shyvana doing a lot of damage. My team is randomly diving, and they're not fully committing. So the reason why this has gone really poorly for my team is because there was half decision-making going on. Some people were fighting. Some people were taking the tower. If you're going to go for a dive, especially, if there's tower and you can take damage, you need to commit all at once. Do I think it was bad for Solo focusing the tower? Nope. I think it was bad going for the dive in general. Enemy team is looking to try and take an advantage, which they thoroughly need, of a Baron. I think Solo should let the enemy team know you're around, but don't just suicide for it. Wait if you can for your ultimate, but it might not be. It might be a bit too late. So the enemy team potentially are getting Baron, which is not good at all. Unfortunately, the ultimate is really close, but it's probably not going to be there. Now, auto-attacking, I'd say is good. They do end up getting it. Potentially a little bit more poke could have happened. Potentially. Diana overextending for this. She actually flashes away, so that's a free flash there. Unfortunate bind coming out. Zed going for an all-in on the person that has the Zhonya. So that doesn't really make sense. But my team is going to be looking for a pick, potentially, or a bit of an engage, and I don't think anything's going to happen. So that's not good. Enemy team get basically a free Baron with no repercussions, all because of that weird dive. The over-greediness that happened around that tower. It's not the end of the world. Again, you still have an open base tower at 20-odd minutes. You're obviously still doing well. And as long as you don't throw during the time that they have Baron, it's not a big deal. So what I would do now is Solo's team is just basically fight the enemy when they're by themselves. So going for the Darius right now is 100% the right decision because he's alone. As a Baron, like Baron as a buff, you want a group. If you pick people off when they're actually alone, they're not going to be able to use that Baron very efficiently. So you can see that Shyvana was bot lane. Alistar has now made it in, which I don't know if they should have let him in there. Shyvana is still bot lane, so they should be pushing as quick as they can. Obviously, they're Baron minions. But they should be continuing this, I think. Like, I don't think... Oh, there's an engage coming out. Good ultimate by Gragas. Potentially, that was the wrong move by Solo. I potentially think Solo sometimes goes to his ultimate defaultly without going for any auto attacks. Especially when you're going the Duskblade or Drakthar build. Your first auto attack is a really big deal. And if you're just ulting straight away, not looking for an auto attack, not looking for a double up, you're actually missing out on a lot of damage. So don't naturally always just go, okay, they're close. Oh, I have to ult now. Look for potentially an auto attack before or a double up before. Because if you double up, then ult, guess what? By the time your ult is finished, your Q will be back on cooldown. So you're maximizing your DPS or your damage. So that's also a little point there. So Shyvana is potentially looking just to split push this game. I don't think that's a terrible decision. Like I said earlier, if my team group is 5, I think they pretty much win this game for free. If the enemy team gets solo picks, then it's going to be a little bit iffy. Enemy team also get Infernal. The Shyvana is basically playing this game by herself. You can see the difference in the junglers. Shyvana is 4 levels up on the Gragas. That's a big deal. Enemy team continuing. Shyvana being a little bit cocky. Wouldn't probably be that cocky. Diana gets caught out. She's just kind of taunting, staying by herself. Should be a kill on Diana, which is nice. Engage coming out by Morg. Nice play. Potentially focusing the Shyvana is the right call because she is very strong. Kill her. Now potentially look for the Twitch. Hopefully the Rise will turn and help. They do. Solo did die there, but he actually did the correct thing of going for the Twitch, but then realized, I'm getting out DPS here. If the Rise turned instantly, I think that would have been better. But it's still not terrible. There's still, I don't know why he took it. This Rise has a bit of a weird place, though. But they should be going over to cover that. But yeah, that's not bad. It was a 3-for-1. And the enemy team had Baron buff. So overall, not bad. Again, what should happen? Respawn. Group. End the game. Like, the bad thing with this game, and again, a lot of people will look and go, God, only 89 CS. It sucks, but as you're watching, there's actually not a lot of opportunity to farm. Because here's the thing. The enemy team's late game is actually pretty damn strong. Sometimes Zeds can kind of fall off in late game, so I'd say my team should be looking to finish this game earlier rather than later. So if Misfortune went to go farm, it would slow down the game, which then opens up the game for the enemy team to potentially win, which I don't think is a good thing. So it sucks that you're not getting any, but I don't think there's much you can do about it. Be really careful with positioning here, because if you get caught out now, it's a really bad thing. Diana's being greedy. Again, ulting the wrong target. Again, not looking for any auto attacks. You know, a bit weird. Again, really look for those auto attacks, because they're your bread and butter as an AD carry. Shyvana going for an engage. Solo mispositioned. Hopefully it'll be okay. It isn't okay. Does get owned. And then also Gragas in the middle of the fight does get killed as well. Shyvana flashed over the Morgana bind. Is a massive dragon. Potentially Zed should be looking to do some damage. But Shyvana is just walking through the whole enemy team. So as I said, this game potentially is not a win. Because of just a couple of misplays, greediness, ulting the wrong targets by a couple people. Again, priority. If you look at the priority list of the enemy team, the priority right now is Shyvana. There isn't really a bigger priority. Twitch, potentially, you could prioritize the kill, but Shyvana is the one that's winning the enemy team at the game basically by herself. She's going for a dive on the Zed. There's not a lot he'll be able to do. They will potentially kill her solo. Again, walking up to the target. Again, especially as an AD carry, you've got to make sure you're using that range. That's the whole point. So we've seen a couple times your positioning is a bit too close for comfort. Positioning, again, like I said earlier, is the most important skill of an AD carry. In reality, you pretty much want to always be nearly maximum range of like however long you can auto attack somebody. You want to be pretty much as far away as you can while still maintaining auto attacking people. That's the dream spot for AD carries, because you don't want to be close because you'll just get killed. So yeah, again, it does change depending who you're playing, because some champions like Tristana in the late game has really far range. Misfortune doesn't have incredibly far range. So it does change depending who you're playing, but the general rule of thumb is just stay as far away as you can while maintaining auto attacks, especially obviously near the God Tower. You could be standing on the God Tower, Shyvana can't come to you, auto attack, boom. So yeah, to win this game, they've got a group, and they've got to probably prioritize the Shyvana with how this game has gone. Kill the Shyvana, and then there's actually not much more strength to the enemy team. You can see Darius hasn't built a damage item. Twitch potentially is still, you know, damage intensive, and you can't let him auto attack and ult for free, obviously, but you know, it's a priority list at the moment. Gragas, don't go for that play because you have 0 vision, but we'll see how this game goes. Again, I have no idea the length of this game. This game could be over in 5 minutes, it could be over in 10 minutes, I have no idea. All right, Shyvana's bot lane, Baron's up in 9 seconds. Baron, rush it. The enemy jungler is there, you still have vision of her. I don't know why they're not rushing it right now. If I was anybody on this team, whether I was the Misfortune, Zed, whoever, I would have been spamming that Baron as much as I possibly could. And they're still not doing it, which to me is a big waste. You know, the Baron probably could have been done by now. So the enemy, my team is actually going to be looking to bait this, which is okay to bait it. Don't go too far, the old Zed now. But now you don't have vision of Shyvana, so you have to presume she's on her way, which now she is. So that was a lost opportunity. That was a definite lost opportunity. Enemy jungle's bot lane, no Baron taken. Because, you know, you got a Fed Zed doing a lot of DPS. He would have been... he would have done a lot of damage to that Baron, no doubt. Also, my nose is starting to fill randomly, which is feeling a bit weird. Enemy team doing the Baron. So this, again, is nearly a dream situation for Misfortune. Again, look for that... Again, not looking for any auto attacks before the ultimate. Like most ults that we've been seeing of solo is the same exact story. Need to get that auto attack off before anything. Good double kill though. Now focus the Shyvana. Keep focusing. Darius is not really going to be doing that much. Kill the Shyvana. She's dead. Now focus the Darius that doesn't have any DPS items. Get an ace. Get the Baron. And there we go. So that's good. That's really good. Again, just a small tip. Make sure you're getting that auto attack double up before the ultimate. There was definitely a chance to do it there. I'll say the ultimate decision, not sure about it. Considering you're all by yourself. Again, 100% you knew before you even pressed that R button, you would have had to run away anyway. Like, they weren't going to let you just randomly do that by yourself. But I think you did stop early, which is good. And then you flashed over here, which was a good flash. But that was good. Priority, obviously, in that team fight itself, they didn't prioritize the Shyvana first, but it was actually okay. Like, if it's an open team fight, I'd say going for the Shyvana is good, but the Twitch was very vulnerable, so they just basically got rid of him instantly. And then the Shyvana wasn't actually doing a lot of DPS to people, so the priority list of that team fight specifically was okay, to be honest. I don't know why I've got so bad hiccups. I'm presuming I'm breathing wrong. I've been told that in the past. Okay, but anyway, Baron, my team has had a bit of a stall of getting towers for the past 5-10 minutes. So there should be definitely grouping going on to try and get these sweet, sweet objectives. That's what I would want to see. Again, obviously grouping has been the theme of this game already. But definitely now with the Baron. Especially if Darius is going to split push or anything like that. Gragas by himself. Shyvana just going straight for the engage. Misfortune should be looking for a lovely ultimate. That's what we like to see. A really nice ultimate. Keep going for the DPS. Shyvana should go down potentially. She does. And that's, again, just a wonderful team fight. What I'd say is the Shyvana has not helped herself this game whatsoever. Is that she's very fed, but she's actually not maximizing what she could do. Like I mentioned earlier, my team's win condition, I think, was grouping. which it does look likely that's how they're going to win. But I think the enemy team's win condition is stalling as 4 people and getting a Shyvana to split push. Again, usually I'm not a massive fan of split push, but when you have someone that strong as a Shyvana who's amazingly strong in a 1v1, who's going to kill her? Zed probably won't kill the Shyvana in a 1v1, I wouldn't think. Anyway, they're going to go for the win. That was also a really good ultimate by Solo. Again, I didn't see if he did any auto attacks before, but that is, again, something definitely to work on Misfortune. I know it's very tempting just to press that R button and get your ult going, but you're missing a lot of DPS if you do. And that's probably going to be the game. So overall, not bad. Good priority moving into the mid-late game. Shyvana did then become not useless. She was still annoying, but it was a lot more easy to manage when you're stacking on her and you've got Morgana ult and Morgana bind and all that good stuff. So that's overall pretty good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Just to summarize some points. Early last hitting needs improvement, and alongside that will be coming lower mana usage. Then with the ultimate specifically, if you can, make sure you get an auto attack or a Q off before you press that ultimate to maximize how much damage you're doing. And that's pretty much the main points. Again, like always, I've said to people, I could talk about more stuff. There could be more stuff I bring out, but there's no point. Again, work on the big stuff and then work down from there. So that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Throw a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys next time.